Let me see. Oh, we're live. Okay, let me just load it. It's laggy. Okay. Okay. Oh. Hi everyone. I was like, why is there feedback? Okay, so today we will be. Why is my hair so fuzzy today? I just realized. Okay, today we will be going through again the O level and the oral. The O level and the oral. The O level and PSLE oral components. All right. So if you guys have any questions, you guys can feel free to let me know. All right. Okay. Yeah. Can we zoom in a little bit? Yeah. Okay. All right, that's great. Okay, so now first things first, all right. So over here, I do want to introduce the 12-week EOY prep challenge that we have. Okay, so this is currently ongoing. Okay, this is something that we have designed for our students. Okay, we do want to make sure that students have enough practice, especially now that you guys are very, very close to your exams, whether you're in PSLE, whether or not you are in O levels, whether you are, just doing your end of years, all right? You are all very, very close to your exams. Okay, so we definitely want to make sure that everyone is able to be on task at this point. All right, so definitely from our side, this is something that we have pushed out. All right, so this is okay, a 12-week EOI prep challenge. Okay, it is directed at both secondary and primary school students. All right, so no matter where you are, you will be able to join. All right, and the thing is, right now for students who enroll, we will be giving you 2 free lessons. All right, but of course that is not all. Okay, you know that we are very generous with our what do you call it, sales and promotions. All right, so students right now who sign up, okay, will enjoy up to 390 savings. Okay, students will also be able to get $80 regular fee waiver and a $60 NTUC voucher. All right, so definitely a lot of savings. Okay, you're not just going to be purchasing. You're not just going to get what you purchase, right? You're going to get more. You're going to get a bit of a discount. You're going to get some promotions, right? Okay, so yeah, this is however only till the 31st of August. All right, so if you are interested in this, it is important that you're signing up soon. All right, because right now, what is the date? Today is the 8th of July. Okay, so you guys have like around 2 months, 2 months to decide, right? But yeah, definitely it is something to look forward to. Okay, yeah, but this is, I do want to highlight again, open to both secondary school students and primary school students. Okay, like I said, we are in the last lap, right? So we are almost at the end of this journey, right? It is already July. Well, for the PSI and O level students, right? Okay, so it is the last it is time to lock in. It is the last lap. Okay, we do want to make sure that students are getting the support that they need, right? But yes, definitely this is one of the things that we have provided for our students, right? So if students you are interested, feel free to let us know. Okay, we will be happy to guide you. Okay, and also if you have any further questions, you can let us know via this, what do you call that, service button, right? There's a service button here at the bottom, right? So alternatively, you can also WhatsApp us at 8404-9281. Okay, so that is honestly your go-to if, let's say, we're not on live and you suddenly have some questions to ask. So I would advise saving that number. All right, so it is yeah, we have a whole team waiting to help you guys. Okay, so we're very happy to answer any of the questions that you might have. All right. Okay, for those who just came in, all right, so I am currently showing everyone a 12-week EOY English preparation challenge that we have prepared for both secondary and primary school students. All right, so maybe if your child is a bit weak in English, okay, and they really want that last boost at last last few weeks of before EOY. All right, so it is really a great booster. All right, it's 12 weeks. All right, and we really do want to aim for that A1, the AL1 for all our students. All right, and it is attainable. Okay, we have seen students get that, we have seen students make that jump. All right, so definitely it is something that we would like to push to our students. All right, but yeah, okay, so again, 2 free lessons and up to $390 in savings. All right, so that it will be $80 fee waived and a $60 NTUC voucher. Okay, only for those who sign up before the 31st of August 2025. All right, 2025, not 2026. All right, okay, so we will now be moving on to our O-level syllabus. All right, if we do PSLE, we'll do O-level first. All right. Okay, let's talk more about school life. All right, so this one is, I would say, quite interesting. Okay, so essentially what we're doing here, okay, for those who are in this life for the first time, all right, so what we're doing is essentially each day. Okay, previously we went through a lot about like paper one, we went through a lot of paper two. Okay, but now we'll be doing more on the oral side, because I understand that we have students are usually, they usually like to prefer to work more on the paper two or paper one. So we have been stepping a bit back with the oral, but then now that we're so close to the exams, right, it is so close, we do want to make sure that students are able to be on top of that as well. Okay, so this is something that we are currently working on with students. All right, so definitely for students who are a bit weaker, this is a great place to hear some potential answers that you could be using during your exam. Okay, so if you often find yourself, just stuck, you don't really know what to say, this could be a good way for you to actually start thinking about what answers I can use during the exam. All right, right, and also we will be going through some I wouldn't say experiences, some exemplar kind of questions. All right, so and that's the best part, because I understand that sometimes in exams it is possible for teachers to just come up with a question, and then students are like, how do I answer this? I don't have experience in this. Like, what if the teacher asks me, um so what have you done to help the environment? And a student is like, but I've never done anything for the environment. All right, and that is understandable, right? Because we all have very different experiences. All right, but what we are doing here is we want to prepare students for this kind of questions. All right, so we're going to give you a bit of a some examples, okay, whether it be from the news, whether it be from like magazines. All right, these are things that we have collated, or even answers that just have worked well. We will be putting them all down here, collating them. And students, maybe you guys can sit here with a pen and paper, or I don't know, do students nowadays use iPads to study? I don't know. Right, your learning materials, and jot down what I'm saying if you feel like I'm talking about an area that you might struggle with during the exam. All right, so right now we will be doing the O-level oral discussion. It is for school life. All right, so let's make a move on. Okay, so this is a bit of a recap because I actually went through this yesterday. Okay, but this is something that is I feel like in some way or another, the chances of environment and school life being tested are like, ooh, what happened, are incredibly high. All right, so it is something that we should definitely be going through. All right, describe effective stress management techniques you use. Okay, I asked students this previously. All right, and what they did give me some answers. Some people said fidget or stress toys. All right, so that is a great answer. All right, that is a answer that you can give. Okay. I also wrote down practice 5 minute mindfulness sessions using apps recommended by MOE. Okay, so focus on breathing before exams or after school. All right, these are all great ways to actually manage that stress. Okay, and for students, it is great that students will be also able to make time for hobbies and exercise. That is one of the great ways, and that is something that I personally find quite helpful. So if I were to do something that I feel is emotionally fulfilling to me, it does help with my stress management. All right, so that could be a potential answer. All right, and also journal. All right, journal is a very popular method that has been talked about quite a bit. All right, that journaling, you can list 3 things that you're thankful for each day, or maybe even list 3 achievements. All right, you can come up with your own idea about, like, what you might want to like journal. All right, you don't have to journal just in order to say this. All right, you can just think of something on the spot. All right, so yeah, essentially journaling helps you to sleep with a good mood, and that is something that we are aiming for over here. All right, and also you can also say break into a study of 25 minute. I have to stop before I say this word. Pomodoro sessions, right? Pomodoro sessions with 5 minute breaks to refresh focus or reduce mental fatigue. All right. So it is essentially planning and scheduling. All right. It helps you to make your learning more efficient. It helps you to make whatever you are doing more focused, all right, and more efficient, right? And yeah, that is a great method, all right, not just as an answer for the oral exam, but to use in real life, right? And that's especially good for students who have very short attention spans. All right, so I had a bit of that when I was in J1, so definitely that was helpful. All right, for students, all right, effective stress management techniques. Okay, students can also maintain a structured timetable that includes time for studying, revision, exercise, and relaxation. Okay, so a very holistic schedule. All right, and that is definitely something that can help students to manage their stress. All right, so these are all some techniques that some of our students came up with and some that I contributed. All right. And also students can also write down that they take short cat naps. All right, so very short naps, and it kind of you can also elaborate that short naps help you to reboot the brain. All right, so I previously saw something online that it says that apparently if you were to drink coffee right before you sleep, it helps you to reboot your brain. I don't drink coffee. I don't know if that is true. I don't know, but apparently they say if you drink coffee, go to sleep, and then wake up and do work, you become extra refreshed. Well, yeah, nap, not like a long, like, yeah. But like, I've never tried it because I'm not a coffee hater, but I don't like coffee. I remember I had the worst experience with, I don't know what's it called, the coffee drizzle on top of ice cream, like cold brew on top of ice cream. What's it called? Yeah, I had the worst experience with that. Diarrhea, diarrhea, and it was almost food poisoning. It was actually like, yeah, and I don't know. It was just ice cream and coffee. I don't know what in it made it so bad, but to be fair, I've never drank such concentrated coffee before, so that was the first time, and I had that was one of the worst experiences that I told myself I would try matcha affogato, but I would never try coffee affogato again. Yeah, so a bit of a coffee hater. People don't come after me. Yeah, I'm the only one in my family who dislikes coffee, so that is quite inconvenient. I'm okay with coffee bread, okay with coffee cake, but coffee by itself it's just a big no for me. Coffee ice cream is good. Coffee ice cream is good. All right, but yes, definitely you can list out some of these methods. All right, and another effective stress management technique that you could list down, okay, is that you take walks. All right, to clear the mind. My school just ended. Wait, you're in school ends at 3. I don't know what in my memory. No, in my memory, primary always ends at 1 something. That's true. But Yeah, it's different CCAs have different days, if I'm not wrong. I'm not quite sure anymore. I'm not quite sure anymore. My school used to be so pretty. It was a very, very nice like color. It's like a very like solid color, and then now it looks like Legoland. They redesigned the entire thing. No CCA. Ooh, my CCA would my CCAs were always kind of interesting. I did. I don't know. Is it Diabolo or Diabolo? Diabolo. It is the Chinese yo-yo, and you have to like do this with two sticks, and then after that, the yo-yo just spins every time you do this. That was my CCA. It was also considered performing arts. Yeah, yeah. Mm. I was also uniform group. I hated it with such a passion. I remember as a kid, I was very, very tomboyish, and I told my mom, you know what? I want to go to the army when I'm older. I will go into the army. I will join like, you know, all the rest of my guy friends. I'll join the army with them. And then I joined a uniform group, and it really just gave me that awakening that army is not going to be fun. It's not just going to be physical activity. It's not just going to be like training that, you know, makes you happy, makes you feel refreshed. It is going to be discipline. And I was like, okay, no. And I've never been so happy in my life that I'm a girl. But yeah, that's a side point. All right, next question. Okay, how can students recognize signs of fatigue? Okay, we talked about this yesterday, okay? And I was saying to everyone that it is not just important for you guys to be able to answer this during the oral exam, but for you guys to understand this by yourselves. I mean, you guys are in a very, very stressful period of time. Okay, let's face it, you guys are in PSLE, you guys are in O levels. Wait, Ryan, you are in PSLE, right? This year. PSLE, right? Honestly, thinking back to PSLE, I just remember how I don't remember how painful it was because right now when I think of painful like studying, I just think of like JC. I don't think about PSLE anymore. Oh, sec one. Okay, okay. But yes, definitely in PSLE, I just remember missing the school, walking around the corridors and thinking, oh my god, it's gonna be my last few months in this school. I've spent 6 years here and now I'm about to leave. And it was just so sad. I remember that. That's the only thing I remember. But yeah. Okay. Yeah, how do students recognize signs of mental fatigue? Okay, so first things first, it is possible to become more forgetful, more disorganized, right? And also declining grades, all right? Declining grades, okay, despite putting in effort, all right? If you're not putting in effort and your grades are declining, it does not mean mental fatigue. It just means that you are maybe not practicing. Hi, Aizen. Hi, Aizen. Did you just end school as well? Aizen, yeah. I am back. Hello. Yeah, everyone is slowly, you guys are now it is like 2:50, so did you guys end school like 2:30 or something? 2:30, and then you guys like all making your way back home. Yeah. All right. So, how can a student recognize signs of mental fatigue? It is also persistent tiredness. Okay. So you feel extremely sleepy even after a full night's sleep. All right. Yeah. So that is one of the signs. All right. Poor concentration or like brain fog. You feel like everything. You're all around the place. You're all over. Not all around. All over the place. All right. Your brain is foggy. You cannot think clearly. All right. That is a sign of mental fatigue. All right, avoidance behavior, so like skipping school or CCA due to feeling overwhelmed, that is a massive sign of mental fatigue. All right, so it is something to look out to because look out for, I mean. All right, loss of interest in favorite hobbies or weekend plans. All right, so things that you were previously really, really interested in, you suddenly became like, it doesn't really matter. That is a massive sign that you are not in a good headspace, right? And irritability. All right. Yeah, so that is the kind of frustration, that kind of annoyance is a massive sign that you are also not doing well, All right, sleep disturbances, all right, insomnia or waking up a lot at night. That could also mean that you are mentally really fatigued. All right, so that is a great way to, it's a telltale sign. Okay. Okay, let's move on. All right, if you have any more, feel free to add on and let me know. All right, but of course, these are the ones that are mainly in the answers. All right, so yeah, you guys can let me know if you guys have any questions. All right. Okay, next question. You guys can take a look. All right. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so one thing here is that first things first. Okay, what role does physical activity play in stress management? All right, so you are specifically talking about physical activity. Okay, maybe via sport. Okay, so or maybe you could, is dance considered sport? I don't think it is, but yeah, you guys can talk about physical activity as a whole. All right, over here. Okay, you not necessarily have to be very specific in terms of what physical activity. All right, so you can say that physical activity acts as a mental reset. All right, or even an energy boost. All right, it switches off the consistent thoughts about exams, and it also releases endorphins, which improves mood naturally. All right. However, it is true that for some people, me, that physical activity makes us feel worse. I don't know. I feel like that is a very individual problem that I have. Um, I do not do well with. I love certain physical activities such as Pilates or Taekwondo, but when it comes to the very repetitive physical activity, it actually stresses me out even more. I don't know if this is a shared experience, all right, but so far it sounds like a very unique and individual experience, all right, because whenever I felt bad, people around me have always told me, why don't you go for a jog, why don't you go for a run, and I don't know how to explain to them. It makes me feel worse, all right. Why, if I am mentally tired, why would I tire myself out physically? That is always my comeback. But physical activity can make you distress, and yeah, I think for a lot of people it does, which is great, all right. But for me, it is the fact that for me, I hate running. Okay, I have such, like, I hate it with such a passion. The way that I have to run, the repeated movements of, like, the repeated movement, it stresses me out. I don't know how it makes me, it gives me more space to overthink. So it is actually super counterproductive for me. Walking, I used to hate it a lot, but then with music it becomes so much better. So walking in terms of exploring the city, especially if you are in like a foreign country, walking around is, it is so relaxing, and your step count goes like all the way up. But it is just a great experience. But for me, running will always be a no-no. Running will always be a no-no. Okay, I did try other sports. I tried bouldering, ended up in the A&E, so that didn't work. Other sports, yeah, I haven't done other sports in a long time, but definitely this, you can always you know put in a bit of your own experience, all right. Yeah. Okay, so you can also say that physical activity such as regular exercise, maybe from CCA or from like a hobby class, boosts energy and improves sleep quality. It helps students to focus in class. All right, so definitely there's that. All right, and exercise also can build self confidence, especially when you're achieving personal fitness goals, or maybe you are going for competitions all the time and you are actually winning medals back. All right, so that is definitely something that can boost self confidence. All right, fitness also breaks open new opportunities for social interactions and peer interactions and peer bonding, things that can truly help you to feel more emotionally fulfilled, something that can make you feel better. All right, so these are all great ways. All right, these are all great ways to manage your stress. All right, and that also answers the question that we have over here: what role does physical activity play in stress management? All right. Okay, describe how you support friends experiencing stress. Oh, that is a big one. That is a big one. That is a big... Someone with like a very cool username just joined our live. I don't know if they left, but that was the coolest username I've ever seen. It is like an up and down, like it's like the heartbeat monitor thing. Wait, that is so cool. Wait, how do you do that to your username? Right, it's there. I see it. It's so cool. There is this one person with the something like a character blowing a bubble gum, and the username is just like the heartbeat monitor thing in the top viewers actually, and that is so cool. How do you do that? If the person is still watching the live.
Oh, I saw it.
Yeah.
Like the heart.
Yeah, but how do you do that for your username though? That is so cool. I am invested. Well, that's so interesting. Wait, share with us how you do that. That's so interesting. That's so interesting. I need to learn. All right. Okay. Um, and also one thing that we can also do to support friends experiencing stress. All right, let's begin this. Okay. Check in through WhatsApp when you notice they're unusually quiet. All right, especially when you are all going through a lot of stress. All right, it is good to consistently check in with your friends. All right, study together. Study together so shared schedules can ease that exam pressure. All right, listen actively when they vent their worries. You can ask, how can I help? All right, so these are all things that can be used as support. Hi, thank you so much for liking the live. Is it Nor? No, Nor. Yes, I'm pronouncing it right. All right. Okay, you can also listen actively when they vent. All right, so definitely be a bit more open to talking. All right, encourage them to visit school counselors and share helpline information. All right, organize group exercises like CCA mini games to take their minds off stress. All right, and you can also start to share music playlists. That is something that I personally love doing with my friends. All right, especially my really close friends. We would share our music playlists, and the funny thing was that it was always so accurate because we could tell exactly how each other were feeling just based on the music we were listening to, and that was our key sign because we would have like the shared, what do you call it, like the collapse on Spotify, and we would just be able to see if someone is listening to very sad and depressive music. We would immediately like, are you okay? And yeah, that was a very interesting experience. All right. Okay, and yeah, share music playlists, and also definitely celebrate those small wins. All right, you have to build that positive reinforcement. All right, and this is something that stays important. Okay, even in work life, even when you progress on to uni. All right, these are all things that are super important to maintain with your friends. All right. Okay, how can schools better address student anxiety? All right, just curious, where are your outlets? All right, so I think we have nine. Oh, eight. Oh, eight. Sorry, my bad. Eight. All right. The moderator will type in roughly all our outlets for you, so you guys, yeah, you can have a bit of a reference and join. Um, if it's somewhere near to you. All right. But user 194. We currently. Sorry.
Leave the contact information on the arrow there.
Oh, okay. User 1942 19472. You see the service button below. Please click that, and you can leave your contact information, and we'll get back to you. Could we just type in the comment section as well? Oh, okay. Yeah. But also we are currently having a regular let me just show you a regular program discount. All right, so you can see this over here if you're interested. All right, so actually we have this 12-week EOY prep, and right now for students who join, you will be able to get that 2 free lessons as well as up to $390 in saving. Hi Jose, welcome. Did you just finish school? Yeah. Okay. So if you do sign up now, you'll also be getting the $80 regular fee waiver and that $60 NTUC voucher. Okay. So this is definitely by 31st of August, and it is open to primary and secondary school students. All right. So this is a great opportunity if you are interested. Do take this into account. All right. Yeah. Water break. Also, side note, you guys, I always okay, I'm someone who doesn't drink boba much, but this came as a shock to me the other day when I realized that you can get a cup of koi for $5. I didn't know that.
There's a lot of fruit drinks also.
No, I always thought that koi was gonna go up like $7 per cup, and I was so reluctant to buy it. And I
But
was,
they do have, but it's like if you want to like get there's like flavors that's a lot more expensive
I don't know. I always thought like you wouldn't even be able to get pearls for
without.
$5. But the thing is, you can apparently. I was quite surprised because I've only ever for me, I only ever get Misha. Misha, Misha is a lot cheaper. I get Misha and what's the one? I used to get Liho when they had a member price. So a long time ago, I think they still have it, but they make it a lot more complicated now. It was like $2 and you could get like a very small cup of like boba, ta hong pao with boba tea with bobas. And yeah, I was so upset when they canceled it and brought it all online, so you have to put in your credit card in order to get that, and also upset. Yeah. So yeah, but yes, super happy to find out that apparently you can get decently priced boba at Koi. Koi. Oh, I also drink Icha Cup. Icha Cup is amazing. All right. All right, let's go back to this. All right, how can schools better address student anxiety? All right, so first things first, student teachers or the school in general can host workshops with external specialists on stress management. All right, so that was one of the suggestions given by someone in the live. Wait, let me just. All right, okay, and also it is also possible for the school it is also possible for the school to be able to schedule mindfulness and wellness periods after major exams. Can I ask how you share the screen for your laptop on TikTok Live?
TikTok live.
Mm.
Live TikTok live.
Um,
That's the answer.
live TikTok Live?
Yeah, TikTok studio.
Oh, TikTok Studio. Yes, TikTok Studio. Yeah, I think it's TikTok Studio. It is quite interesting. All right. So yes. Also over here, one of the other ways that schools can better address student anxiety, okay, is to encourage more of a holistic growth through events that are highlighting that there is more to growth than academics. All right. Oh, thank you. You're welcome, Kelvin. Kevin? No, Calvin. All right. All right. And also, yes, definitely schools can reassure students that stress is definitely normal through talks and media. Okay, media can be like school television, all right, or even like posters around the school, all right. And also, now, schools can also encourage open dialogues in class about exam stress and mental health, all right, and well-being training for teachers to learn how to better support their students, all right. And also, schools can provide study tip zones in library with stress balls, all right. So that was, I think that was an answer given to me by a student here in the live, right? And yeah, okay. Host anonymous surveys to better understand cohort stress levels, right? So definitely it is important for schools to have that understanding, all right, so that they're better able to plan their events, okay? So these are definitely very relevant in real life as well, okay? Also, okay, we have this. Do you agree that it is possible for students to have healthy stress? Why or why not? Does anyone have any answers? All right, some people say that they did not even know that the words healthy and stress could be put together, and I thought that was quite funny. All right, you guys can maybe give me some answers. You already have some answers here, but you can give me your own answers. Okay, on a side note, I hate how even though I put my mints in this box, they somehow still manage to have contact with water. I don't know how. They're in an airtight box. That's quite interesting, huh? Yes, healthy stress can make students study. Makes sense. Makes sense. My answer always is that there is a balance for me personally, I need that stress to get me to actually submit work. However, too much stress can give me like paralysis. That means I cannot just do anything. I just crash out. Okay, so now I'm gonna read the question again. Do you agree that it is possible for students to have healthy stress? Why or why not? Okay, first things first, energy boost from manageable stress aids concentration without paralysis, all right? And a moderate level of stress can enhance alertness and focus. Okay, it is beneficial before exams. However, too much stress can make students not want to study. Okay, yeah, that is true. So it's a bit like paralysis. Riz? Hi, CW Horror. Horror. Oh, I just realized. Oh my god.
Okay,
CW. Oh my goodness.
It's not our intention.
Oh my goodness. I didn't realize. I was like, I'm trying to pronounce that properly, and I was like, ooh.
We just say sorry to TikTok.
Okay, sorry, TikTok.
Reading a name.
Okay, so over here, all right. Okay, the thing about healthy stress. Okay, healthy stress can also motivate action. All right. Okay, and also, when moderate stress is normalized and thought to be motivation, there is it's good to have for there to be a place in school where students can vent. All right, so it is yeah, that given that area, that avenue for students to actually express themselves better, right? Okay, so teachers and parents should also be able to guide students to harness stress productively rather than suppress it, all right? So definitely it is possible that for there to be healthy stress, all right? Okay, so we are kind of done with the recap. Okay, now we have to start answering questions, so you guys can start typing in your answers, all right? This is something that we'll be going through together. All right, wait, give me a sec. True. Describe a hobby that improves your emotional well-being. Ooh. So I'm actually interested to hear your answers. Video games? Okay. What video games do you play? Video games. I used to be obsessed with video games when I was like in exam situation. I remember how much it worried like my teachers. It distresses you. Like wait, de-stress or distresses you? Roblox? Ooh, alright. I used to play it. I tried playing that as well. Did not work out the way I thought because apparently I've gotten so used to playing like this that now that you ask me to play like with the what do you call it, the AWSP, I'm not able to do so. I don't know. That's a me problem. I'm not able to like control things properly. Alright, so definitely doodles. Okay. Yeah, yeah, I just never got used to playing like PC games. Roblox is on PC. I remember downloading it for a bit. Yeah, and I think it's also that my laptop was not suitable for like games. So that was one of the sleeping definitely. Gardening. Yes, that is true. That is true. All right. CW, distress is different from distress. I don't. De-stress is different from distress. You can do it. Moderator is like cheering me on. I'm I'm not even sure is de-stress a word. I think it's a way that people it's more like conversational. Ah, yes. Throwing stuff. Oh. I think you could say rage room. Going to a rage room. Never actually been to a rage room. I don't know how effective is it. I just never thought that it was gonna be like effective. The idea that spending $30 would just make me even more stressed. So like I never really understood like the concept of like going into paying $30 to go break things in a room. So yeah. Mm, okay. For me it was also I'm gonna write it here. K drama. Love K drama. K drama movies. Mm, hmm. Watching watch watching idol shows. Mm, for some people, cooking. Journaling. Cooking slash baking. Okay, but I'm also gonna give you guys a bit more so you guys can elaborate, right? Because you have to describe, right? You can't just give your teacher a one word answer. All right. So you can say for gardening, you can say maybe gardening at home with mom helps me to connect with nature and relief and temporary stop thinking about school. Okay, maybe for video games, not video games, you can for doodles you can say that um during study breaks helps me to refocus and express my emotions. Okay, you can also for K drama you can say it helped me to divert my attention away from schoolwork. Okay, both of this works here. All right, cooking and baking. Cooking and baking. Okay, practice mindfulness. Okay, and and take time and step away from the screen. Step away from devices. All right, so these are all great ways. Definitely, you can use other means to like elaborate if you have like your own ideas or if there's anything more specific. All right, so these are all great ways. All right, how does social media affect teenagers' self-esteem? Ooh, that's a very big question. There's a lot that you can say about this. Okay, okay, what might your answers be? I'm actually very interested to hear your answers because this is a very prominent problem in today's world, especially since yeah. Okay, so yes, it is yeah, it is a big thing in today's world. Okay, let's see if there's any answers. Okay, so how does social media, okay, we're talking about social media. It can be Instagram, it can be Facebook. I don't know if any of you still use Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all right, affect self-esteem. Okay, so it can be like confidence. Okay, so first one I'm gonna write down is the comparison trap. All right, now what is the comparison trap? You can, okay, wait, let me just write it down. Comparison trap. Seeing perfect lives, seeing perfect lives can cause, can result in comparison and envy. Okay, and there is also, okay, exposure to body image content can spark insecurities about appearance. Okay. Okay. You also have to think of some. Okay, I'm gonna put negatives. These are all the negatives. Well, but there are definitely some positives. All right. Okay, some positives such as positive online communities can build self-esteem. Right. Right, and we also have created feats showcasing academic wins can can motivate students to work harder. All right, so these are oh, definitely negative, right? You can say that cyberbullying can damage confidence significantly. All right, so these are all possibilities. All right, so for this kind of questions, you can talk about like the pros and cons. Have a little bit of a discussion with your teacher. All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on. All right. What work-life balance strategies work best for students? All right. Does anyone have any answers? All right. Maybe you guys can share what your work-life balance strategy is, if you have one. I hope you have one. All right. So these are actually super important. All right. Okay. Now, first things first, work-life balance strategies. We're talking about for students. All right. So first things first, it is about balanced schedule. Okay, maybe 2 hours. Revision, 1 hour break. And then CCA or exercise. Okay, you can also mandatory family time after dinner, which means no phones. Okay, keep weekends reserved. Hi, Ozil. How are you? What are you doing? What are you doing? Keep weekends reserved for rest and relax. All right. Okay, what else? Okay, you can also say avoid all-nighters, better to have 7-8 hours. Okay, and you can also say combine task, which means that you can I used to do this when I was in school. Okay, so we have a lot of options. I'm gonna leave you guys for a bit to think of a bit more, okay? Because it has been rather quiet, and I do wish that you guys can be able to answer some questions and we can look at them together, all right? So you guys do take a look first, all right?
Don't need that. Don't need.
Ozil. How is everyone doing? All right. So I trust that you guys have some answers already. Okay. Now let's look at the rest. All right. Now when it comes to work-life balance strategies for students, all right. Now there is also a great way, okay, is to, okay, have design device free zones at home to reduce digital distractions, right? Now when you are able to reduce this kind of digital distractions, you are also be able to become more productive, which makes everything else faster, so that you have more time for yourself. All right, setting monthly goals. All right, okay. Uh, daily, weekly, monthly goals. All right, so these are ways that you are able to um, prioritize things that you have to do, and also you can better organize your time. All right, so these are all great methods. Great job, X. All right, so okay, let's move on to the next one. All right, how can families create emotionally supportive environments? All right, so after this we will move on to PSLE. All right, do let me know if you guys have any answers. Okay, how can families create emotionally supportive environments? All right, so first things first, what constitute as emotionally supportive environments? So environments that make you feel supported, and relaxed, right? So these are all great things to fill. Okay, so first things first, okay, hold family dinners. Hmm?
I forgot to hide the be right back. Okay.
Hide the what?
I put a be right back sticker.
Oh,
Yeah, I forgot to.
oh, I was like, hold family dinners without devices. Okay, all family members talk about their day. Okay, and another one is, thank you for the likes, Ozil. All right, parents to ask how are you coping with school, to open up channels. Okay, be supportive of children's feelings. Okay, and also it is also important for parents to model emotional openness by sharing. How was your day? And coping strategies. Okay, yes. Parents to communicate more with their children. All right. And also, okay, this one I will add express, allow expression without judgment. All right. And also to support both academic and effort based achievements together to reinforce self esteem. All right, so these are all great ways. All right, these are all great ways. Okay, now before we move on to PSLE, does anyone have any questions that I can, answer, or maybe, uh, anything that you guys want to clarify, or any, questions that you have been like receiving in school that you would like a bit more clarity on, or in general, anything you would like answers to. All right, so you guys can let me know. Do I have to answer both why and why not? Okay, let's go to a question with that. There we go. Do you agree that it is possible for students to have healthy stress? Why or why not? Okay, so now why or why not? Okay, so why or why not? It's not why and why not. All right, so why or why not? So if you feel like I agree that it is possible because the. All right, so you only have to describe one. You only have to describe one. All right, so it's why or why not why and why not. All right, so it's okay. 100. It is 170 days till Christmas. 170 days till Christmas, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that is so soon. In my head, 2025 just started. And I remember vividly celebrating 2020. And everyone was saying, it's a new decade. And now we're in 2025. Thanks.
The time is quite fast.
It is. It was just the start of the year, and suddenly it is July.
I think time is fast when you're growing up.
Time is fast when you're busy.
It's funny because when we're younger, we want to experience the
there's nothing fun about it. There's nothing fun. There's nothing fun about adulting. There is nothing fun about it. Freedom is not as attractive as it used to be when we were kids.
I think I've taken for granted my happiness.
That is true. I'm not ready to grow up. yeah, a lot of us are all not ready to grow up, but unfortunately, um, yeah, we are there. So yeah, that is unfortunate. All right, so let me just go through this program that we have again real quickly before moving on to PSLE for the next 10 minutes. Yes. All right. Okay, we will start with PSLE for the next live. Don't worry, and then we will go back to O's. All right. So I have to make sure that I am going through because we actually do have both primary school students and PSLE students here in the chat. So it is important for me to be able to go through all of them. My hair is so frizzy. If anyone has any home remedies, please tell me. Okay, even though I comb my hair, it always looks such a mess. Ugh. All right. Um, but yes, I am. Yeah. All right. So we have this 12-week EOY prep. All right. So it is a challenge. All right. So we want to make sure that students are able to have that last boost, especially since EOYs are so close. And we also want to make sure that students are close and they are able to get the AL1 or A1. All right. So this is open to both secondary school students and primary school students. All right. For students who enroll now, students will be able to get those 2 free lessons. All right. But this is by the 31st of August 2025. All right. Please note that. All right. And students will also be able to enjoy up to $390 in savings. All right. You will be able to get an $80 regular fee waiver plus a $60 NTUC voucher. All right. So definitely a lot of promotions, definitely a lot of attractive bonuses. All right, so you guys can see this is for both primary school and secondary school students. All right, whether you want to get your AL1s, whether you want to get your A1s, okay, we got you. Okay, so again, 2 free lessons, up to $300, $390 in savings. Okay, students should register by the 31st of August should they be interested in getting this promotion. All right, but definitely, if you have any questions, feel free to WhatsApp us or you can leave us your contact in the service button below. You can see like there's a white arrow pointing to it. Okay, so you guys can let us know if you have any questions. All right, feel free to do so. All right, so now, why is it not? Why is it not? Why can't I? The iPad is always fighting me recently. It is always fighting me recently, and I have no idea why. Okay, so have we gone through all of this? We have. Alright, let's do something different. Okay. Public transport. Right. All right, so this is the one that we will be going through now. Okay, this is okay, personal values. I was like, wait, I clicked the right one. Crazy. All right, so yeah, this is personal values. All right, if you have any questions, please let me know. Okay, but definitely please tell me your answers. All right, let me just pull up the. Okay, what might the answers be? All right, describe when you showed honesty. All right, so this is a big one. This is the type of question that you usually see coming out in the composition, and now it is in the oral exam. All right, so it is important that students are able to understand this one. All right, Okay, describe when you showed honesty. What might the answer be? Okay, you can use some of your own experiences, of course, but also be a bit careful that you are under time constraint when you are in OLS, not OLS, in oral. So do not give the hyper detailed version. You don't have to tell them um every single small detail. Just follow the storyline, right? Just the main storyline is good enough. All right, so what you can do, describe when you show honesty. Okay, so I'm gonna start with one. Told, 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 told my mom. Told my mom about accidentally scratching a neighbor's car. No one expected me to go up. All right. And other than this, you can say confess to teacher. Handwriting. Teacher after mistakenly taking school stationery home. Okay, and this is something, okay, that aligns with MOE's CCE. Okay, now what else? Okay, returned extra change in school canteen even when peer influence suggested otherwise. Admitted to losing a borrowed library book. Thank you. You have the likes before. Okay, what else? Okay, so you can also say revealed accidentally spoiling a classmate's drawing during group work. Okay, and you can also say refused or AI generated answers in work. Alright, so there are a lot of options for you to choose from. Okay, and you can also say, what's the duck for? It is just a very, very cute filter. It is just a very, very cute filter. Apparently, it follows like my hands.
Huh? Really?
No, apparently, if you do the sign, see, it becomes angry. And then if I do this,
Oh, it's an interactive one.
see, and it becomes happy. And then it shows me it's.
In the air.
And then if I do this,
Oh, I didn't know. I thought it was just moving randomly.
no, it starts crying.
Guys, did you see that?
I forgot who it was that told me. I think it was Jason. And
I thought it was just moving. The reason why I put it there because it just sees some like this. Like I find it like for them, right? They want to see a lot of things on the screen.
hi, Mariah. Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey. How are you, Mariah? How was your day? How was your day? Actually, we are 1 minute away from the end of this live. Alright, so we will actually be starting again in 1 to 2 minutes. Alright, so I will see you guys then. Okay, we will do the PSLE one again, and then yeah, we need to restart the live. It's a TikTok thing. Alright, I'll see you guys in 1 or 2 minutes.